channel Yoga and More Therapies e-Center. I am Alice or Sangeet Kaur, yoga teacher and clinical hypnotherapist specialized in cognitive behavioral clinical hypnotherapy, and this video is exactly what has been stated in the title, a presentation of who am I, a way to meet you, to meet me, to present you some things about me, about yoga, about Qigong, about the alternative therapies, and conjuring a call to truth, to the essence of things, aiming to a harmonious life and to well-being. Specifically, this video is divided into three main parts. In the first one, I present you some things about myself, about my choices and my goals. As for the second one, to start with, I will try to give you some general information, but at the same time targeted about what is yoga and what is not, how it is presented nowadays, the types of yoga someone can encounter, some tips to get to the heart of all these choices, and with which criteria should these choices be made. What should I finally choose? Thirdly, we will talk here in this first video, very general but to the point, about what techniques can offer to us when they are applied in the right way and how this way is defined. Before I start the presentation, I would like to tell you that this video finally came out much bigger than I had originally planned in the Greek version. That's why in English version I decided to divide this first presentation into parts, and in each part to analyze some of the sections. Generally, at the first presentation included 18 sections: introduction and presentation, meaning of spiritual name, curriculum vitae, what is and what is not yoga, few works about the history of yoga, the 11 principles to differentiate yoga from physical exercise, the principle of the inner attitude, the importance of breathing and definition of Qi and Prana, what is Mundras, the importance of relaxation, the importance of keeping in touch with a teacher, the teacher and the weapon of technology, the types of yoga, Qigong, what type of yoga to choose and with what criteria, benefits of practices, personal exercises, and planning your personal session, and an epilogue. And in the first part here, we will present 4 of these sections: introduction and presentation, meaning of spiritual name, the curriculum vitae, and what is and what is not yoga. Gradually, at time, we will add the following section and other videos about yoga, theories and teaching. It may take some time because this creation aims at quality. Let's stretch our patience, not only our bodies, as patience is one of the greatest virtues. In order to make your viewing easier, please click to the Show More for automatic selection of the thematic units of this video. From tablet or mobile, drag the white description box upwards. As such book has contents which refer to its page respectively, here we have the time page. Click on the blue number and go straight to the subject on which you want to focus. You can contact me for any information, and if you like this video, would be a great pleasure to work together and formulate appropriate courses online according to your personal needs and desire. I am always available online. Towards the end of this video books, in the thematic section, the teacher and the weapon of technology, I will analyze my views about the e-courses and the distant courses nowadays. The truth is that I have never intended to use social media and make videos for this purpose. My original goal was to write a book which will be related to basic issues about energy healings, mainly to yoga and Qigong. Wanting to help people in a simple way to understand more deeply some issues and definitions of the energy field, such as consciousness, super consciousness, chakra, bioenergy, prana, chi, etheric fields, vibration, and much more. Where there are many misinterpretations, misunderstandings, and often all this seem a bit contradictory and quite difficult to understand. As the result that many people walk away because they have difficulties to understand it. It's normal. However, the special conditions of the times we live in and the speed with which the situation are evolving have led me to talk about these topics through a series of videos which for the time being I believe they contribute to more direct contact with you. In this area where I finally decided to be active, I will use the name Sangeet. This name is my spiritual name. It is a name usually given by a guru, by a teacher who is considered enlightened. And he can distinguish in the student a quality that expresses him and gives him the name of his quality. The person who has been given the name can refer to this quality of the name to help or assist. All this according to the various perceptions and traditions of the East. He uses this name as a reference to his path. For example, someone who might have been the name Truth, which means that through the truth she or he achieves things, evolving, strengthens him mentally. Through the truth comes closer to his real self, to his real nature. My own guru gave me the name Sangeet, which means sacred, protective, inner sound, sacred, protective, inner music and vibration. More specifically, the meaning of this name encourages me to work mainly through the healing power and vibration of the mantras and constantly to help through the power of speech and voice. And that seems to be partially truth, as my voice is a principal tool in clinical hypnotherapy, which I personally consider in combination with the yoga practices one of the most effective and fastest way to heal again an excellent quality of life. Currently, The hypnotherapy model in which I am training and using as another therapeutic tool is the cognitive behavioral clinical hypnotherapy. In England and around the world, this model considered the first in effectiveness when dealing with anxiety disorders, eliminating bad habits like bulimia, smoking, and the like. Taking advantages of this knowledge, I can incorporate principles of clinical hypnotherapy during yoga sessions when deemed necessary, of course. For this particular part of the treatment, I will make a special video because we have a lot of interesting things to present. At this point, it's preferable to leave the theory and philosophy aside for the time being, since I would like to mention a few things about my curriculum vitae before breaking up any qualification. It's utmost importance to me to mention that I am not fond of diplomas given by school and colleges as they have become today. I feel that those programs have become more of marketing product, since in our everyday life we come across diplomas that they can be acquired via internet, being advertised as much, now, and only with 100 euros you can become a yoga instructor and aromatherapist, masseur, and acupuncture, psychologist, etc. And the duration of the program is only 1 month. It's impossible. Knowledge is not so easy acquired. Yes, going somewhere to study means something. Something is clearly stated, but is often far of the essence. Very, very far of the essence. The daily strength, the will, the love for learning and development, the constant self-evaluation, the understanding and admission of our mistakes, the empathy, the personal exercise are the best teachers. Acquiring these qualities and skill cannot be guaranteed by any school, university, diploma, or paper hanging on the office wall. Anyway, coming back to the main discussing point, I will give you some information about me, what I did and what I am currently doing. Years ago, I started my studies in France, in French literature, specifically in Lyon, and for more than 10 years I have been dealing with alternative therapies and mainly with yoga. I have worked as a volunteer in hospitals in an effort to integrate alternative therapies into the field of public health. I have attended several seminars, regularly attend psychology seminars, and I continue my studies in hypnotherapy, focusing on stress management, depression, and substance abuse. I continuously study and I research topics related to oriental therapies, neuroscience, and whatever I believe it could help in my personal development, in my self-improvement towards a beautiful and harmonious life without stress and diseases. I try to be as close to the essence of things, approaching anything with responsibility, love, and respect. I follow the teachings of great teachers. I assume they have deep knowledge and at the same time humility. Here in the photo you see 4 of these first teachers who were mentors for me, and of course they still are. The first one on the top left corner is Paramahamsa Satyananda Saraswati. Thanks to him I became to realize that the life should be a game and to differentiate the religion and spirituality. The second on the right corner is Yogi Bhajan, who teaches me the principles of Kundalini Yoga. Bottom left is a very prolific teacher, Mantak Chia. He has written over 60 books, and as you can see, he is a great expert of energy therapies. And in the last photo is Gonkyu Kid, who had me through the truth of his speech and his simplicity. Of course, there are several teachers to whom I owe my many thanks for their passions and their love to teach and contribute to the common good of humanity. At this point, I want to emphasize in something very important. I didn't not choose this path by fashion. I did not choose this path by fashion. I did not choose it because I did not have anything better to do in my life. As it turned out, I closed it very consciously. I chose it very consciously through my own concerns and personal experience. Before I started all of this, I was suffering for anxiety, for too much stress, and as you know, stress is responsible for a lot of suffering. For me, maybe without exaggerating, it is the main cause of most diseases, and as you understand, stress causes a lot of problems like hair loss, spastic colitis, palpitation, insomnia, negative thoughts, depressed mood. One begets the other. The period I had no particular involvement with all of this, no involvement, the opposite. I can tell you that I was totally ignorant, totally. More instinctively, I was looking for something, and with some luck, I met an excellent teacher, but first of all, a human being called Dharma Rantana, who changed me whole life, or rather, she showed me the right way. Here, I have to notice something very, very beautiful. Do you remember what I was talking about earlier on, the spiritual name? Look now what I spontaneously said. He showed me the way, and this exactly means her spiritual name, Dharma Ratna, show the way. I remember that from the first time, from the first meetings, for the first lessons, I started feeling better, leaving the stress behind me more than I could imagine. I started to gain confidence in myself. I started to feel an inner strength, a love for life, and the desire to create. As we will see below, it was a part of awakening of the creative energy, the life within us. So, as an educator mainly dealing with education and research, I come across this field for two reasons. Firstly, to understand what it was going on in my own body, and secondly, to help other people get better. By following this path, you move on and you experience so many positive things about yourself and others around you, and when your life changes for the best, it is so hard to go back. Oh, it's normal, okay? This few for me. And now we move on to the second part of the presentation, where we will try to understand what is yoga, the mistakes made, the misconception and attitudes towards this therapeutic practice, and how we come to receive, to utilize and develop these practices as it is possible with proper knowledge and awareness, in order to have the best for our body and soul, and to get ourselves constantly to the best and healthiest version of it. So, what is yoga? Many of you know already that yoga does not appear now. It's not a fashion. It's not something that we find in gyms center. It is an art, a philosophy of life during thousands of years. I told that I don't want to get lost in definition of what is and what is not yoga. Before I start saying anything, I would like you to completely get out of your mind that yoga dresses bodies or people who are very, very flexible, people with wonderful bodies like ballerinas. No offense, beauty, grace and symmetry are always worthy of admiration. We love ballerinas very much, wish we could have such harmony, but practicing the yoga or Qigong, everyone can adapt the postures according to his own capacities. Okay, everyone can adapt the postures. So, I tell you once again that I cannot give you an exact definition of yoga, because it is a huge issue that could not possibly fit in 3 or 4 lines. As we mentioned at the beginning, there are terrible misunderstandings, so I will present you some ideas about what yoga is not, just to be suspicious. Yoga is not a religion. Most of the times it's rumored that it leads us to Hinduism, to Buddhism. No, it is a system of methods that aims to personal development and improvement. I repeat, it is a system of methods that aims to personal development and improvement, improving morally, emotional, physical and spiritual status quo. Everyone is called to self-development in terms of the spirit, if he or she wishes it, of course. It's not the primary goal, okay? It's not primary goal. Based on his or her own spiritual beliefs and values. You have to differentiate spirituality and religion. So, everyone comes closer to what he or she believes, to his or her God, this entity that he or she wants to name as God or spirituality. He improves the capacity to open the heart and develop more qualities touching the unselfish love. Okay? The Christian will become better Christian. The Hindu will become a better Hindu. That is also, yoga is not a practice of asceticism. Okay, it's not a practice of asceticism. Because, why? Because for a harmonic and creative existence, you need to love life. Although elements of ascetic practices can be used as one of the methods for specific or other goals, yoga is not pure philosophy, but it has philosophic basics and methods based on philosophic practice. And that's why over years yoga repeatedly changed its philosophies, explaining the same practices in different works. Yoga is not a pure ethic system. Every ethic system is in the long run indented by the religious perception of the work, by the fear of punishment, by the supreme forces, etc. Yoga has its rules to yama and niyama, for example, which can be mistaken for ethical, but their essence is principally different. The yogi follows these rules not because he is afraid of punishment, not because he is afraid of punishment. It is his most pragmatic choice, keep these words, pragmatic choice, allowing him to save energy as much as possible. For example, a yogi does not fast because someone else forces it on him, but does it for health reasons, for the energy, for example. I have just given you some theories and approaches that will make it easier for you to understand what yoga is not and broaden your horizons. As you can see, it's too difficult to give a clear definition, but something also very important. Only you, each one of you, through your own experience, you can possibly give your own definition. It's an inner knowledge, not learned by books. Let your experience be expressed through your soul.
प्राण अपान सुषुम्ना हरि